campaign 2018 election hacking.
I think they want to set up a system that makes it easier to steal elections.
The Iowa caucus is in chaos this morning.
Today, voters in Georgia were met with long lines and confusion.
In the height of the 2020 U.S. election cycle, election security has been dominating the headlines. As our public institutions are being put to the test, trust in the voting system has wavered. This begs the question, how do we make elections free and fair, and in the midst of a pandemic, also safe? In the 2018 midterms, 3 million voters waited 30 minutes or more to cast their ballot, and that's before hundreds of polling places shut down across the country. We saw the impact of these losses in the primary when voters dealt with longer than average lines at the polls. There's fear of foreign interference and voter intimidation at the polls. Not to mention, we're in the middle of a pandemic where more voters than ever are preparing to mail in their ballots for the first time, while many states' mail-in voting systems might not be ready yet. The influx of mail-in voting is already causing alarm. More than 550,000 mail-in ballots were rejected in the 2020 primary, a number that matters in key swing states for the general election. All of this makes you wonder, how can I be sure my vote counts? Jorge Garcia, a tech entrepreneur from Honduras, now based in Pasadena, California, is offering a solution that would make voting accessible, secure, and fully transparent to the voter.
My name is Jorge Garcia. I'm the founder of Ballotted. Ballotted is a voting platform, and the goal of Ballotted is to run a very easy way to run secure and transparent elections worldwide.
The technology Jorge is developing would bring voting to the palm of a person's hand through a mobile app and secure their vote using blockchain technology that encrypts the voter's choices and also confirms to them that it was counted in real time.
Ballotted is a mobile voting solution. You can register at home from your phone. We can validate your ID. We can validate your biometrics. Second, if you want to vote, you would just open the app, select your choice, vote. Then once they're in and the election starts, you basically just have the options that were selected to election. You pick your choices and then you submit your votes. Something that is super important is that all the votes are encrypted, especially right now around COVID. I think the value added is that even if you went to a voting center with all the health risks associated, once you go out, you actually don't know if your vote was counted and how. And actually with Ballotted, what would happen is that once the election is closed, you can check that your vote was counted, and at the same time, you can audit the whole election.
Jorge is testing this technology first in university elections, and the early results are promising, especially when it comes to turnout.
Just thinking about turnout in general, any country that you name it has between 40-ish something to 60% turnout. And when you start analyzing, a lot of that has to do with just people not being able to vote or just people don't trusting. We ran a first pilot with our universities. Our turnout was 93%, which is never seen in a student election. And the other interesting part was that we actually had 50% turnout in the first hour. And I think if we create a system that provides them an easy access to voting, and at the same time, a very trustable and secure mechanism of checking their vote was counted and at the same time being able to audit the election, I think we can move to a massive participation.
Beyond convenience and accessibility, Jorge is working to solve an even bigger problem with the current voting system.
So the problem that you're really trying to solve is having a system that people can trust. I think there is an organized attempt to undermine elections and undermine the trust in elections. If we don't trust elections, we're going to start moving people not trusting democracy and then starting to think about more autocratic systems. And I think that's a very dangerous place that we don't want to be. That goes back to why I think auditing as a source of trust is super, super important. Our end goal is always public elections. So when we started, and the reason why I started Ballotted was being able to have transparent elections and specifically transparent public elections. In order for having a system that is solid and that you can trust, we actually need to follow different steps. What we're trying to do is run many elections as much as possible. First, on organizations that have like a low barrier of entry. This is a subject that has a lot of noise. So just being able to prove, hey, actually this is possible and we have something that can do it was a really important step for us.
So, What does the future look like with this kind of accessible and trustworthy voting technology?
I think the actual voting should be the less concern. The headline should be as simple as another successful election yesterday and the results are this, and we actually trust results were audited immediately. And I think right now, especially starting after this election and the years to come, there's going to be a sudden and quick interest in having solutions. And I think in general, the world is going to move faster in the next couple of years to a more electronic or hybrid solutions. And that's where we want to be. And the good thing is that I think we have the technology to make that happen.